Well, we're in the midst of Holy Week, and I thought I'd focus on an epic event in the Gospels, both the Synoptics as well as John. This is found in Matthew 21 as just one of the references where Jesus enters the temple area, and he drives out all who are buying and selling there. And then he overturned the tables of the money changers and the benches of those selling doves. It is written, said Jesus Christ, my house will be called a house of prayer. But you are making it a den of robbers. In his gospel, John speaks of Jesus cleansing the temple at the very beginning of his ministry. In fact, just days after his first miracle at Cana in Galilee. But Matthew, Mark, and Luke placed the temple cleansing near the end of Jesus' ministry, around the time of his triumphal entry into Jerusalem. So if you believe fake news permeating social media channels, Jesus either cleansed the temple twice, or neither John nor the Synoptics tell the true story, since in both accounts, he cleanses the temple only once. And thus, they say, the accounts cannot be reconciled. Well, how do we respond to this kind of thing, particularly when we read about it during Holy Week? I think we ought to begin with the fact that none of the gospel writers so much as hint at the notion that Jesus cleansed the temple only once. It's entirely plausible to reconcile the accounts by presuming that Jesus cleansed the temple both at the beginning and at the end of his public ministry. And nor, for that matter, is there any reason to suppose that Jesus cleansed the temple only twice. I think we do well to recall that the disciples said something after Jesus drove out the money changers the very first time. Remember those words? They said, "Zeal for your house will consume me." They're quoting the Old Testament. Because defiling the place in which the Shekinah glory of God dwelt, well, that's no trifling matter. Moreover, it should be evident not every action Jesus took was recorded. If every one of his actions were written down, well, we're told by John, I suppose, that even the whole world would not have room for the books that would be written. So, those who love sacred scripture are well aware of patterns in the gospel narratives. The Synoptics and John present complementary details that serve to flesh out the rest of the story. So, far from contradictory, the gospel writers are very complementary. In fact, if every gospel writer presented his account in precisely the same fashion, the critics could correctly cry out, collusion. So the very fact that plausible resolutions can be forwarded negates the assertion that accounts of Christ cleansing the temple are irreconcilable. Bottom line, seeking to debunk the Bible has become a very profitable cottage industry. But think about what profit it is to a man if he gains the whole world but loses his own soul. So when you see these kinds of false narratives on the internet, even if you don't know the answer, recognize that there are answers to such questions. The Bible has withstood the test of time. I've written about this in the Complete Bible Answer Book Collector's Edition, revised and updated. You can find that on the web at equip.org.